Hello, my friends and family. This is a series on mortgage education. Specifically, this video is for the pre-qualification process. What to know and what do we go over? The first thing to know about the pre-qualification, it's really designed to make sure we remove any roadblocks to you buying a home. It could be for budget purposes, it could be for work history purposes or credit score. It's just trying to make sure where do you stand on the qualification. Now, the three areas that we focus in on the most that you should know about really is work history, which really dives into what is your income stability. The second piece is your credit history. What is your likelihood of repaying the loan? And the third section really is more on down payment, both your budget, what you can afford, as well as what you can afford to put down on the house. So let's focus in on that work history thing. The two areas that we're looking at when we're looking at work history is we're looking at a couple years of history to find stability in your job. And stability also includes growth in your job. So if you go from a baseline employee to management, that's okay. That's a wonderful thing. That's still stable. The second piece is we're looking for reliability of the income. So there's certain types of jobs, let's say like a teacher, you have a contract, you know exactly how much you're going to make. Other, let's say nurses or even salespeople, will have a variety of income. Shift differential for nurses, overnight or overtime, those things can change depending on shifts that you take. And so we try to remove the inconsistencies of those income. And for salespeople, it might be commissions or bonuses or things along those lines. So most of the time in both of those situations, that stability or consistency, we're looking for a 2-year consistency. So if you recently started a job that worked more and more overtime, we're not going to use the overtime because that may not be stable. We all experienced that through COVID. Some people worked more overtime, some people lost their overtime completely. The next area that we want to focus in on is your credit history. So some things that you look at in your credit history, do you have lots of new accounts? Those can be concerns if you are looking to buy a home. So a lot of times you'll hear mortgage experts say, don't do major purchases right before you buy a home. It does hurt your credit score if within the last year you've had multiple credit pulls from different types of accounts. Different types meaning cars, credit cards, mortgage. So just by pulling your credit a couple different times from mortgage lenders is okay as long as it's in a 30-day window. But if you're opening new accounts constantly, that can be a red flag. The other piece that we're looking at in credit history is what has been your past or repayment. This can significantly change how much you can afford on a home just based off the higher credit score means you're a safer borrower. The safer borrowers typically get better interest rates. Stop doing multiple opening store credit cards or stop maxing out credit cards, pay them off, and make sure you've cleaned up and looked at some of your credit history to see, is there any things out there that you need to fix? Errors are included. The last thing we want to look at, of course, is your budget. Not last as in it's least important, but that's an important piece that typically takes the most amount of time in our conversation. Budget means how much of a monthly payment can you afford. It also tells us how much flexibility you have in your income. Typically, people that have more flexibility, we use debt and income ratios to figure out flexibility. People that have higher flexibility tend to have higher down payments. So that down payment can also influence things like your monthly budget and could influence things like mortgage insurance. So have an idea and a conversation about what can you afford monthly as well as for a down payment. One of the strange conversations that happens during a lot of our pre-qualifications is what are people's ability to get other sources of income or down payment assistance? Some people get down payment assistance from state agencies or through grants, or even things like family sometimes will help with down payment assistance. So if you have questions, reach out to your mortgage lender ahead of time on some of those things as you're preparing for a pre-qualification, or even family members. So if you like videos like this, subscribe to my videos and learn more about the rest of the process of buying a home.